Hello and welcome to Levant TV headlines. At least 310 people have died in a stampede during the annual Hajj pilgrimage, Saudi Arabia's Civil Defense Service said, as the death toll from the tragedy continues to rise. A suicide bomber struck a mosque in Yemen's capital, Sana'a, in an attack targeting worshippers that killed at least 25 people and wounded dozens during Eid prayers. German Chancellor Angela Merkel says Syrian President Bashar al-Assad should be involved in any Syrian peace talks amid mounting pressure to end the four-year conflict. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov says there have been certain agreements made between Russia and Israel about coordinated military actions over Syria. And Pope Francis is bringing his resonant message of humility and hope to Capitol Hill as he becomes the first pontiff in history to speak to a joint meeting of Congress. Now let's take a look at the top headlines in today's newspapers in the Middle East. Starting from Cairo, the Egypt Independent leads reporting that Egypt's envoy to the UN, Amir Ramadan, has categorically rejected claims of 4 European countries during the 30th session of the UN Human Rights Council, saying they are simply a repeat of statements they had been made during previous sessions. The paper also reports that Egypt's newly appointed Minister of Immigration and Egyptian Expatriates Affairs, Nabila Makram, said she has reservations on dealing with the International Organization for Migration, adding that the international body has to work within the framework of Egyptian laws. From Lebanon, the Daily Star leads, reporting that Prime Minister Tamam Salam has departed to New York to participate in the 70th UN General Assembly meeting, where he is set to meet with senior Arab and foreign officials. The paper also reports that Grand Mufti Sheikh Abdel Latif Derian says Lebanon needs an effective public administration system to increase citizen satisfaction. From the UAE, the Khalij Times leads, reporting that Saudi Arabia's Grand Mufti Sheikh Abdulaziz Al Sheikh appealed to Muslims across the world to unite and rise against extremist groups like the Daesh, which are trying to take Islam back into the age of ignorance. The paper also reports that Canadian Al Jazeera journalist Mohamed Fahmy and colleague Baher Mohamed walked free after being pardoned along with scores of others on Wednesday by Egypt's president following criticism of his government for jailing opponents. Now let's take a look at the top Middle East headlines from the UK papers. The Guardian leads its Middle East news, reporting that at least 310 people have been killed and hundreds more injured in a crash at Mina, outside the Saudi holy city of Mecca, where 2 million people are performing the annual Hajj pilgrimage. At least 450 others were injured in the stampede, which took place on Street 204 of the Camp City at Mina, where pilgrims stay for several days during the climax of the Hajj. The Telegraph reports that a bomb attack targeting Shia worshippers at a mosque in Yemen's capital has killed at least 25 people and wounded dozens more during prayers for the Muslim holiday of Eid al-Adha. Witnesses reported that after a first blast inside the mosque, a suicide bomber detonated an explosives belt at the entrance as worshippers rushed outside. The Independent reports that support for a new war with Israel is growing among Palestinians as they lose confidence in politicians and the peace process, a survey has found. The Palestinian Center for Policy and Survey Research, PSR, an independent think tank based in Ramallah, said the death of a toddler who burnt to death in a suspected arson attack by settlers and last summer's Gaza conflict had contributed to rising anger. Now let's take a look at the top headlines in the international papers. China's Global Times reports that Egypt's president pardoned Canadian Al Jazeera journalist Mohamed Fahmy and his colleague Baher Mohamed among 100 prisoners on Wednesday after his government faced criticism for jailing opponents. Those pardoned by President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi were also included women activists Sana Saif and Yara Salam, his office said, in a gesture on the eve of a major Muslim holiday. And finally, Germany's Deutsche Welle reports that German Chancellor Angela Merkel has said Syrian President Bashar al-Assad must be involved in peace talks to end the war in Syria, as well as other regional players, including allies of the Syrian leader. Her words come as the West shows signs of softening its stance towards the leader. And for more updates, please visit levant.tv. Thanks for watching. Be sure to join us again tomorrow. Bye for now.